One. All right. Just waiting for some people to log on. Hey, Roger joined.
Hey.
Ev's on. We got 2 viewers.
Here for you, brother.
Number one supporter.
King.
Oh, 5 people.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Otto's Grotto, all things geek and unique, featuring 3 men in a basement. True believers, this is your Spider-Man spectacular that you are about to see tonight. But while we get some more viewers, we're going to play some 80s rock. Nothing says 1980s like Black and Blue. Hold on to 18, which was like 40 years ago for me. So enjoy the tunes while we play, everybody. Kevin, good to join. Pat Butler, good to see you. Sean Tominy's on. Great to see all these people. Angel's online. Angel's selling a lot of his books lately, huh? This is a great part right here. The School of Hard Knocks. All right. So, guys, I want you to stay online tonight. Ahado, that's right. Thank you, my good friend. Thanks for joining. All right. We're going to hand this over to our camera woman, Miss Evelyn Levesque, and she's going to set up. She's going to get it ready. All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to Otto's Grotto, all things geek and unique. Thanks for joining us tonight on this Webhead special. Today, to my right, we have Mike Chewy, my number one, the J. Jonah Jameson of this, as the executive producer walks in. Mr. Ned Leeds himself showing up with some fans. Today we have a special guest star. We have Mr. Drew Blood, our Spider-Man aficionado. He will give us our opinion, his opinion of the Spider-Man movie. We'll all give our CGC ratings, talk about the movie, and see how it goes. So cheers to everybody. Thank you for joining. If you have a nice cold beer, salute. Hope you're having a great weekend. Your summer's going well. Let me tell you, it is hot down here in the grotto, boy. Like, this is hot. So we're going to get started. So, as we all know, Spider-Man just came out. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I'm giving it a 9.4 CGC rating. That's right. That's right, true believers. A 9.4. All right? And I'm going to give it 2 knocks. I'm going to give it 2 knocks for, one, this man right here. The Shocker. It couldn't have been more illy portrayed than I could imagine. What you say, Mr. Drew Blood?
I agree.
You agree? Shocker was very weak, right? Weak, right? Why even bother putting him in?
And 2 in the same movie.
I know, Shocker 1 and 2, which is unbelievable. Which is unbelievable. So, for those of you who don't know, the Shocker's first appearance was Spider-Man 46, right here. A great book right here. Great book to have. You should have this book. Pick this book up at the Plainville Comic Show. Great show. But before we get started, I want to do a couple shout outs right now while we have all 11 people online. Please go to Gem Mint's raffle right now. He's raffling off the first appearance of Ant-Man. There's 200 spots at $10 each. I think there's only like 25 spots left. Our good friend, a good fan of the show, Kevin, is raffling those books off. And it's his book. You know, it's coming from a reliable seller. So it's a great book. The first appearance of Ant-Man, Hank Pym. You know, he's going to have his second movie, so that's something you should get. So we want to have that out there. Another shout out to all the people who joined us today in our studio audience. We have Cool Sue. She came to join us. She's sitting there hanging out. The executive producer is somewhere. He's setting up his cooling fans because he just can't handle the hot weather. So, Spider-Man, to me, I saw it twice, and it was good. Andrew in the house. We got Slippery Mick online. Deadpool Econ, too. We got a lot of people online joining us, right? So that's good.
Foz. Words up, Foz.
Words out. Foz is here. All right. So, 2 things that we're going to do, guys, just so you know. If we get 50 viewers today, if I get 50 or more viewers, we are going to raffle off this Marvel team-up, Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, number 100, an anniversary issue. Nice. And it's the first appearance of Karma, I think. Karma, right? One of the new mutants.
Karma.
Very, very cool. So I'm going to raffle that off if we get more.
Right, you're gonna ravel that off to anybody who watched.
Anybody who watched.
We're gonna go back and see all the names of people who watched.
Yep.
Put them on, one of the roll of the dice apps, and
Now, our executive producer is going to take care of that.
After I set up the fans.
After he sets up his fans and his cooling unit. You like, my God, this is unbelievable. Out in the wild with Pat Howe we have going on. All right, so I gave Spider-Man a 9.4. I didn't like it for 2 points. That's why I gave it a 9.4. I didn't like the Shocker, and I didn't like Flash Thompson all together. Not that. Hold on a second. Let me say what I didn't like about Flash Thompson. Flash Thompson in the first movie was a great version of Flash Thompson, right? Especially when he was fighting Peter Parker. And Peter Parker goes, Flash, I don't want to fight you. And you know what Flash says back to him? I wouldn't want to fight me either, right? Great line, right?
But do you think this Flash Thompson would ever become Agent Venom?
No, never.
That's,
Or, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, it was poor. It was poor. But hold on a second.
I mean, Flash wasn't a geek.
He was a jock.
DJ who just teased him. He was a jock.
Hold on.
Guy.
Hold on. I agree with all this. Shocker was way late. Yeah, Shocker.
I like the Shocker.
I agree with you. Do you really?
I like
It could have evolved.
I agree with Deadpool.
What's Deadpool saying? Flash Thompson was
Yes.
But listen, as far as bullies go, in this day and age, in a world of politically correctness, you don't have to be a bully by being physical, right?
you
can mentally abuse people, right?
Which is
what he did.
So they turned it into a cyberbully problem?
Well, it's still, this is 2017. We have to live with this in the world that we live in. So, So anyway, so I knocked it off that. So, nothing's ever perfect. Nothing can ever be Gem Mint raffling off the first appearance of Ant-Man. But, so you go from 9.8 to 9.6 to 9.4. And I'm okay with that. So that's my rating. I saw it twice. I'm going to stick with it, all right?
All right, well,
so before we get into details, all right, my co-host, my Chewbacca of this Millennium Falcon, what are you going to give it for your CGC rating?
8.5 tops.
8.5.
And I'm being
Hold on a second, hold on. I want to say signature series, signed by Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, and John Romita. Exactly, all three of them.
And now we know that you hit your head.
Oh, Jesus.
8.5 tops, that's being generous. Flash, Shocker was terrible. You like the Shocker? There was two of them in the same movie. I mean, Shocker 1 and 2, and the whole thing of Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. Where did he hear that from? Uncle Ben.
Right.
Now, one mention of Uncle Ben.
No, but you don't need to see Uncle Ben.
I don't need to see them, but he needs to be.
What's that?
One mention.
Yeah, he needs to be reflecting on the fact that the reason he's trying hard is Uncle Ben, not Tony Stark.
But he even
who
said
adopted
that.
him. Hey, you had your chance.
Okay, all right.
You had your chance.
Okay. All right.
Uncle Ben is the reason that he had the strength to get past his demons, not Tony Stark. What movie, what comic realm does Tony Stark adopt Peter Parker and become his father? Tell me. It's not there. I can understand, I can understand them trying to merge the two different Spider-Man worlds to try and make it fresh. With him, his friend that, what the hell was his friend's name? I don't even remember.
Ned Leeds.
Yeah.
Ned.
Okay, they're trying to keep it fresh because all the Spider-Mans will be done. But you can't eliminate Uncle Ben.
I don't think he was eliminated.
You did. He never even mentioned
about
him
in a very
once.
subtle way.
Never.
When Aunt May said, Aunt May's been through a lot.
When that kid,
all right, hold on. Okay, you gave your rating.
So when he's under the pile of rubble and he's finding the strength, he thinks it's Tony Stark, not Uncle Ben.
Okay.
Executive
producer Bernie 1869. What do you give it?
7.5.
7.5. Okay.
We've already seen Iron Man. That's basically what this movie was. Iron Man,
Disagree.
I get the Iron Spider.
Okay.
We didn't need to ask Siri about everything. It's just
suit was a little much.
All right.
I already said I didn't like Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
I did like the villains.
Okay.
I liked Shocker and Vulture was dead. So
all right.
Badass, not bad.
Yeah. Okay.
What else did I say?
All right, I think you're good. So let's go to our Spider-Man aficionado right here, Drew Blood, Drew Mandu. You saw this. You have read these books through and through. You were a Steve Ditko purist, a Romita purist, right? John Fukushima also?
Yes.
Right, okay. So let's hear your
Jim
rating.
Mooney.
Yes, right?
Bill.
Okay. So let's hear it. What are you going to give it?
I give this movie a 0.5.
0.5! God!
One of the worst superhero movies and also worst movies that I've ever seen. It was horrible.
0.5. That's like
really
missing
bad.
pages.
Yeah, like 50-cent box.
Come on.
Like tattered.
Really?
Nothing. Worthless. Garbage.
No.
If it was a comic book, I wouldn't even line up my bird cage with it.
Really? Now, you know, in our studio audience, say we have cool suits. She's actually clapping. Do you agree with this cool
I
suit?
agree with it.
She agrees. So
She
point
saw it
five.
with me.
So elaborate.
Okay.
Okay, well, first of all, the story was not good.
Okay.
Okay, it just didn't go anywhere. Let me start off with what I liked about this movie. The only thing that I liked about it was Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Just as the Vulture. The Vulture costume, terrible.
What? How can you say that? The ruffles, the wings,
Way too
the claws.
too big a wingspan.
No,
too
disagree.
tacky.
Disagree.
I think they should have went more like more maybe
Wait.
steampunk.
If you're giving it a 0.5, there's got to be 0 things you like.
Right.
Well, that's the only thing I liked was,
Hey, that
was
automatically-
Michael Keaton. I thought the way they did his makeup and stuff like that.
Right. So
You
just
know,
Michael Keaton
was
alone.
good. And he's a terrific actor.
Okay.
You know, but
But what was his motivation? Just soul greed? He already had a nice house.
well,
and
his
everything.
motivation was
Well,
revenge. You know,
It was revenge. He was an
He
angry.
was going to make a lot of money.
Well, let's have him speak. Go ahead. All right.
But,
so you didn't like that.
But the whole, the number one, the spider suit was overpowered.
my God.
Too high tech. Especially once he unlocked that Jarvis-like talking computer in his hat. You know, come on.
We already saw that.
It's horrible. Horrible. Every time he got in trouble, Iron Man came in and saved
Right.
him.
Daddy.
You
Okay,
know.
hold on a second. What about the science aspect of Peter Parker? Because he was a scientist. He made his own web stuff, right? I mean, that was pretty good. You know, sneaking around, making
He
a web.
didn't make
fluid.
really. He did,
Well, he made the
but
web. He had different versions of it.
you know.
Class he was trying to find.
Yeah, he was hiding his stuff, you know.
You know, personally, I like the way they handled the web shooting in the Toby picture.
Organic web shooting?
Because, well, I mean, if they're going to write it out, if they're going to change it that much, making it a spider power kind of made sense. So I'm not kind of a person that has issue with any kind of change at all. I don't mind updating or something makes more sense, but you know, it just was too much of a teeny bopper movie.
Okay.
It felt like I was watching an old episode of Square Peg. You remember that? And I'm going to keep going back to this. After this movie, I was so disappointed. I actually, in desperation for
let's talk about
something,
this, right?
I watched Howard the Duck from 1986, and it is a better movie than Homecoming.
You heard this first.
It was a better movie than
Probably
Homecoming.
cost 10 times less to make.
You know, and it was very good. I'd rather talk about Howard the Duck. Tell you the truth.
Really? So we'll have a
I thought
Howard
it was.
the Duck show.
I thought it was really good, but you know, Homecoming was really bad. The story was terrible. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May. Come on, you know, no Uncle Ben. No spider sense. Hello. Where do we
Well,
see
hold
who's
on
a
a second.
spider
I'm gonna
sense?
interject
He
here.
did
But I
jump
have
in
my
that
time
one
to talk.
fight really quick and knock the guy's guns out.
How does he not know his friends in his room? He doesn't. I can sense that.
Because his
and I
friends
don't
are
have
in
any.
danger.
Right, but I can sense
So-
when someone's staring at me.
What did you want? Little things to come out. That
Right.
said, you know,
Yeah.
he did move out of.
No, but they could have just shown him, you know, be alert.
Okay,
And
so what I'd like to say about the spider sense is what I didn't bring up in the beginning and I should have. A lot of this you have to look at Civil War too, because Civil War was like a prequel, a preface to Spider-Man, right? So when he was talking to Tony in Civil War, he goes, you know, since the fight, my senses have been dialed up to 11. So he did reference it,
Yeah.
right? So he
Yeah.
did reference it, and again, when you say his friend's in the room, his friend's not dangerous. The spider sense was.
But if his friend's in danger,
Right, but
Yeah, but what I'm
right.
saying is, if I'm standing in my room and someone's staring at me from the
You're not
backside,
in danger.
I'm not gonna. But I'm not Spider-Man. I'm gonna sense it just because I feel someone staring at me. He's over there trying out his costume when Aunt May's staring at him. He doesn't even know she's there.
this guy knows what he's talking about, America.
Okay, so, all right, I kind of agree with all that, but there was a lot of foreshadowing, and now we're going to do our first giveaway, okay? Our first giveaway for this Spider-Man book right here. Spider-Man Marvel Team Up 111, great number, Spider-Man and Wolverine. Bob Layton book, great. So I'm going to throw this out, and the first person to answer this question will get this book, so I need you guys to keep your eyes out, and I'll...
Somebody on.
What's that? No. So the first question the first giveaway of the day is, the Prowler was referenced in this book. The Prowler was referenced in the Spider-Man Homecoming. He also talked about his nephew, who we believe to be Miles Morales. This is the Prowler of the Ultimate Universe, but in the Spider-Man mythos of Earth 616, what was the first appearance of the first Prowler? What Amazing Spider-Man book was that? Now I'm going to sit here and wait until somebody types that in, and if you get it right, I will send you this Marvel Team Up free of charge right here. ASM 131, that is not correct. 87, ASM 87 is not correct, that Bulika. Carly, you are wrong, unfortunately, too. 97 is wrong, booking. 86 is wrong. All right. No, Detective Comics 880. The Prowler. That's a great answer. ASM 98 is not correct. So we got a lot of good numbers coming out. It's actually kind of an anniversary issue if you look at those books.
69?
It was not 69, very close. And it was a Bushima book at that time. So the question is, Mr. Wonkers, thank you for joining us. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Wonkers. He's a loyal patron of our show. He always gives us time and stuff like that. So Mr. Wonkers, thanks. Deadpoolica, very close. The question was, what was the first appearance of the Prowler in Amazing Spider-Man universe? All right, so we're looking for that answer. It was an anniversary, technically an anniversary issue. He is on the cover of it. And it is not 78. I hope it's not 78.
Oh,
It is 78.
We have a winner.
It is 78. Okay.
Yay.
So Deadpoolica does get it. I actually thought it was 75. My dyslexia is getting bad in my old age.
Whoever
So
answered 87, that's...
yeah.
This,
So who answered
is the book he's
78?
going to get right here, right?
Yes. So
Yeah,
who
he's not
answered
getting 78.
That's a nice
So
book.
it was the first
right
78.
there.
there you go.
Deadpoolica, another winner. All right. Deadpoolica, congratulations. You will win. You will win this Amazing Spider-Man Marvel Team Up. All right, congratulations. I'm going to send that out to you. So this was the Prowler book. I thought it was really cool. Really appreciated it. The Night of the Prowler. Great cover. Not necessarily the story of the Prowler himself, but just a good book overall. All right. So I apologize. I didn't think it was 75. But as I get older, my dyslexia.
I've still got more to say.
You do? Oh yeah, we're still on this topic.
I've
Okay,
still
we're
got
on
more to
this topic.
say. Okay.
I thought Tom Holland was good. I thought he was an
Too
excellent
young.
Peter
He
Parker.
was good, but too young.
Peter
Maybe
Parker
they
was
want him
a
to
whiny
grow.
kid.
Maybe they want him to grow into it more.
He's a whiny kid, okay?
But listen,
I
no
love
one ever knew Spider-Man's secret identity. No one.
In the Ultimate, they did a lot.
That was my point. They're mixing the Ultimate Universe with...
A lot of the Marvel movies are based on Ultimate.
This is a standing point for us right here.
That's right. We
me,
are at an impasse.
To me,
We are at an impasse.
to me, the Ultimate Universe matters little in
Okay.
the history of Spider-Man.
Okay.
No one knew his identity for forever. It was a secret. He worked alone, even way back. It's Amazing Spider-Man #1. The Fantastic Four wanted to hire him, and he said
Right.
no.
That was a great what if book. What
He
if
said
number
no.
one?
That's right.
What if number one?
And that's what he was talking about before. When we were talking about this whole Iron Man thing. Maybe that would have been a good issue of What If. What if Iron Man had hooked up with Spider-Man early, and then he ended up having a super spider suit?
Right.
Okay, I could deal with that.
Okay.
But the name of the movie was not What If. It was What Is. And I say it's what ain't.
and it ain't. Okay. Well, you know what? That's
$5 was way too much to spend on this movie.
okay. Well, I saw it twice. But you know what I did like about this? And let me tell you. Let me tell you what I like about it. Can I bring something else into this? I just want to talk about this. The Star Wars, the Lego Star Wars Death Star. Okay.
That was
now I'm
that was
an avid
great.
Lego collector. Okay. I collect the big sets, and I know a little bit of history behind this Death Star. And I'm just going to tell you my own quick story about this. So, Lego is based in Connecticut. It's up here. So, in the community, I do know quite a few people who work for Lego. Now, that Death Star was limited to every Lego store for it was like a $400. It was a $500 piece.
One per
And every
store?
what's that?
One per store?
One per store, right? One per store, not counting their display. And then they only produced it for like a year or so. So then Lego took them all back, right? They took them all back, and so Lego was then sitting on X amount of them. And Lego was very good to their employees, but they only had, Lego has 10,000 employees, they only had, let's say, 100 of them. So what they did was they let all their Lego employees go into a giant raffle, right? If you wanted to win it. Or win a chance to buy it from them, right? So you could enter a raffle, and if you won a raffle spot, you then had a chance to buy it, not at the retail price, but at Lego cost. and Lego has a huge markup. Unfortunately, I missed out on that boat. I'll probably have to buy it on eBay someday. With 3,000 pieces, it'll probably take the brain trust of Everett and Bubba a good year to put that together because they put all our Legos together.
Something to do.
So, that Lego piece in that Death Star was very, very cool. And that's something that I enjoyed seeing. So that's just another thing that I liked about the movie. All right, which clearly I seem to be the only one.
In the beginning, the whole
All
reference
right,
to
so-
Civil War.
Geez, imagine if he was playing with a transformer or robot. And you're like,
No, that is
What if he had a transformer, blow up the Death Star?
Shogun Warriors.
But hold on a second. Now you say that the suit had too much tech. But in his early episodes, in the early issues of Spider-Man, it did have technology. He had a web belt had the spidey light, right? Which is technology.
Yeah, an LED light. That's really high tech.
No,
It wasn't LED back then.
It was a 60s.
It's not death mode.
I know, he had his web
Think of the light bulb he would have
It's
had.
not death mode. I mean,
Well, it's not death
I
mode.
didn't like the tech. It was the S series.
What?
yeah.
That, you didn't like that part.
We had Iron Man.
It sounded just like.
Come on.
All right.
Droney, I mean, come on.
All right. Well, how about the Iron Spider at the end? I think that was great foreshadowing for the Infinity War.
I don't buy
Sort
it
of
in
the
Iron
Iron
Spider, but
Well, again,
Sort of.
but he's going to mix that
mixing
suit,
universes,
right?
I can
When he's in the middle of
Yeah,
space
Infinity War,
in the
it's
Infinity War, so that was good.
He's gonna
I thought that was very, very good. What else can I say that I liked about this? No, I did. Oh, and of course, Spider-Man 33, when the rubble falls on him. What a great, great tribute to Romita and Ditko.
Would have been.
With the way the rubble was
Yeah.
on top of him, and the way he used his inner strength to push it up and get it off
Tony
him.
Stark inner strength.
No, well, he was looking at it.
Right.
That's what he did.
Right.
And that was great. I called 2 stores today to try to find Spider-Man 33. I couldn't find it.
What did he say to himself before he got rid of the rubble?
I don't know. I was too enamored. I was too visually watching.
If you need the suit,
right?
then you can't have it.
Exactly.
He shouldn't be looking at Tony Stark for strength when he's in. When
he's confident.
Uncle Ben was his strength.
Okay, Uncle Ben is now gone, and everybody needs a father.
He's
figure.
always
That's
been
what
gone.
it's So anyway, so we have a lot of thoughts about it. We have a lot of thoughts and opinions on it. The fact that I went to the movies today, it was almost still sold out. And it wasn't
I've heard that
I
they're
was in
losing
there
a
by
lot of
myself
movies.
yesterday.
No, I heard it's the lowest return that they're seeing in revenue compared to
The first week.
BVS, which we all know.
Okay. Well,
Oh, you like that movie too?
there's a lot of things that I like.
He
Now,
likes
listen,
everything.
I do like it because I'm a fanboy, right? Because
Big
in the
time.
70s, what did we have? We had Spider-Man throwing rope out of his arm, right? Like it was like clothing line going up a
We
building.
loved that when we were
Shark
little
spray.
kids. We did
That
love
was- We
it.
had
Shark
shark
spray.
propellants. You
Shark
know what I mean?
repellent.
God rest Adam's blessed soul. You know what I mean? I would never disrespect him.
Shark
But
repellent.
that was something that was stuff. So you have to embrace this stuff. For me, it really, really has to be awful to not to enjoy it. Because this is what we have, and this is it. And eventually, I think Marvel is running its course with their movies. So this was a bad time to produce this movie, I think.
Very bad.
But I'll tell you, I think this movie has a lot of rewatchability for me. I saw it a second time today. I'd watch it again. There were parts of it that I enjoyed, and I'll watch more. I thought the Vulture was great. There was a scene of the Vulture standing on top of the building, right, when he was about to attack the plane, and he was
Billboard.
perched, and his wings were
Yeah,
hanging
the
down.
billboard, that was great.
That was good cinematography.
Yeah, I liked it.
right?
I like
That was
that.
good cinematography.
I like the Vulture. I didn't have a problem with the Vulture.
I don't like the Vulture costume.
I always wondered how they would make that look in the movie.
I thought they could have gone more. I mean, I can understand that they're not going to make it like the original
I didn't
book
know
with
his
the
name was
feathers
gonna
and
be-
everything.
I didn't know his name was going to be Adrian Toombs Allen. But
Well, again, I like the ruffles.
Well, that was
because
his
that's
name. That
signified.
was his correct
Right.
name.
And he was a
no,
man too.
he
Let me
was
tell you
Alan's
something.
father.
Right, but
that was not. Yeah, that was one of the most stupid plot twists ever. in a movie.
disagree.
That he turned out to be the girlfriend's mother.
Great
or
twist.
That was
father, I
great.
should say.
Evelyn, you thought that was good?
I thought it was wonderful.
Hey, on the camera right now, we had Evelyn
She's
Rose
14.
Beck.
She
You know what I
has
mean?
no idea
She's
what
in
she's
the
talking
audience.
about.
Of course you
They're
don't,
going
but this is
after.
what the movie.
That
That's
was
the-
great. That was such
Great
a.
twist,
Oh my
Evelyn.
god.
Evelyn,
Like,
high five to you right
you
there.
never
Right.
would
Right.
have expected
Right,
that
there you
though.
go.
Like what?
No.
All right, but hold on a second. Let me just bring something up. Al Toon was a very surly character, right? Now, when this movie first starts, I love the beginning because they're picking up after the Avengers, right? They're picking up after the Avengers. This guy's a general contractor. Now, I know me as a father, I'm sure all of us here as parental units, somebody, we would do anything for our family when our family feels threatened, right? So if I'm going to go out and I'm going to get this job, and I think that this job is going to put me over the top, I'm going to mortgage my house. I'm going to buy the equipment. I'm going to do all this stuff because I've got guys who are working for me. And then a government comes in, some type of CO comes in and says, no, we're not doing this, you know, and he gets mad. And what does he do? The guy says something like, well, you shouldn't have over-budgeted yourself. And it got like, we overextended yourself. Overextended myself. I'm trying to do the right thing for my family. Right? So he steps to this dude and he punches him in the face.
Yep. And
Great.
Now, flash 48 years later, he's already made a ton of money.
Well, he's got his cash, right? He's got his money.
Why be a supervillain now?
Right, and then the other guy, right, the other minion, Shocker 1, goes outside the resources of him, you know, puts his business out there, and then he threatens him again. He says, I'm going to just go tell everybody who you are. The dude picks up an Ultron arm, I think, and blasts him and kills him, incinerates him on the spot. Great villain, did anything to protect.
Little joke there, too, from the Tinkerer.
The Tinkerer, good point too. Also, the Tinkerer, very good there. So as far as the Vulture goes, he was dead on for me. I really enjoyed that. So that's what I have to say about Spider-Man. I'll stick it to
about that.
You know.
What about what we were going to talk about earlier, which was different villains that we'd want to see come in?
Right. So moving forward in the Spider-Man universe, and I'd like to see what everybody has to say as we're typing this. I am reading. If I'm typing as Evelyn Rose on this, you guys, because my camera's being used, my phone is being used. So anything that I'm typing is coming as Evelyn, our camera woman. Hey, Chris Shaver's on. Good to see you guys. Guys, stop what you're doing right now and follow Comic Freaks. Chris Shaver started his own page for people who are big into the comic book business right now. He likes to talk about stuff. Yep. All right. So Mysterio, right? Good villain, but who is super overdue?
Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter, right? And if my boy Didi Garman was on right now, he would agree with me 100%. Kraven the Hunter is long overdue. I don't understand what's taking them so long to do this.
Well, they probably have to create some teched out, you know, animals and stuff like that, like robotic saber tooths and whatnot.
They come with the Dinobots or something.
Yeah.
The Dinobots.
The Dinobots.
Okay, whatever. You see my Dinobot sitting right over there? They're going to bite your ass, all right? Anyway, and I did pull it. What I wanted to say about Mysterio was Mysterio would be a great villain, but Kraven and Mysterio. Oh, Jem Mint just jumped online. Jem Mint, how many spots do you have left for that Ant-Man? Like last time I saw it was maybe 20 spots, $10 spots left. Let's try to get that thing sold. Kevin, get that book sold. Jem Mint can move on. Again, that's another great raffle going on right now.
How many people do you have watching right now?
Right now we have 15 people. So
15, yeah.
Finally getting Scorpion. Yeah. Scorpion too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but with Mysterio, the problem with Mysterio is he's going to wear that big dome, right?
Well,
and you don't have, if they do it, right? If they do it.
They would never use that costume. They would
have to, though. Because that's what Mysterio is. They're going to put the two eyes on the side and give him the dome. You need facial expressions as a villain, right? Let's talk about Dr. Doom. You couldn't see his face? Awful villain, right? Green Goblin, that thing around him other than his voice, awful. You need to have the facial expressions of villains. And I've always said this from day one, and I think everybody here would agree with me. You need to have a strong villain in order for it to be a very good movie, because the hero is just saving the day. You have to have a great protagonist and an antagonist, and you have to have the strong villain. So Mysterio, I hope they do, but they have to do it right. Kraven is dead on, okay? Kraven is dead on. Now, I actually brought up Morbius, right?
Morbius is an interesting character if they've handled it right.
With vampire and zombie.
You know, I've noticed they've got figures at Walmart, Morbius, and they look pretty close to the actual comic book.
Okay, so Morbius. Who else?
How about the Tarantula with his pointy shoes?
Yeah, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, right? So who else do we have from we have the Prowler. We could do Kraven. We know we're going to do Scorpion next.
Scorpion.
The Rhino didn't get a fair shake.
Rhino, robotic Rhino. No, that wasn't good.
Right?
It's a guy glued in a suit. How does he go to the bathroom? We don't know.
He just goes, man.
Hobgoblins, okay? Mr. Walk is maybe the Hobgoblins.
Kingpin.
The other question
James
is...
Franco is Hobgoblin.
James Franco, I don't know if that was necessarily, they didn't quite call him the Hobgoblin. I mean, it was kind of there.
I have a perfect person that could start as villain and later become an ally. We are all waiting for Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat.
The Black Cat.
When are we going to
Okay.
see her?
Right.
She's coming out with Silver Sable.
Silver Sable.
All right.
They come out with the movie.
All right. So
And
those are all
also, I got
people that I
like
think.
copies.
So, you know, when we talk about this, Spider-Man definitely has a huge rogues gallery. He's got tons of, I don't know, anti-heroes, people that he's worked with, so this
Punisher.
universe, the Punisher, you know, although with the Punisher being on Netflix, I know there's not going to be there's not going to be much of a crossover.
I'd love to see an underworld-based...
Hydro Man. Let me tell you about Hydro Man. Hydro Man was great at Universal Studios on the Spider-Man ride. Because when Hydro Man came at you, he was a very low-level villain. But when Hydro Man comes at you in 3D, you actually get sprayed by water at the Universal ride. So that's actually pretty cool. So, Morbius team up with Blade, very possible. But I do think we're going to see Blade on Netflix. Because they just released his figure, and there's been some chatter about that.
Before or after Moon Knight?
Before, well, Moon Knight too. So, we got a lot of things going on right now. So those are all things that we think are going to happen. We know that this is not like my 12-year-old Everardo, or that's me, Ever Joseph. He wants to know when the next Spider-Man's coming out. The next Spider-Man's not coming out till the second part of Infinity War is over. So, and that's going to take place immediately after that. So those are some things that are very cool. And that's really, I mean, I got nothing much to say else about Spider-Man as far as this movie goes. Anybody else?
Movie. It was
Terrible. When was Howard the Duck made?
1986. Howard the Duck. 1986. Better movie than Homecoming. So if you're thinking about going out to see Spider-Man Homecoming,
Rent Howard the Duck.
stay home. You don't even have to rent it. You can watch it on Netflix or on demand or something like that. I watch it for nothing.
So we've got
fantastic movie.
We've got CP 1972 requesting us to do a shot. We're going to do that in honor of the request and everybody watching. So Andrew does not shoot liquor. So we got Birdie 1869 over there. We got some
rock
nice
and roll, guys.
rock and roll. Cheers. Thanks for joining us again.
Yes.
Grotto, all things geek and unique. We've got 2 more sections of the show coming.
Some people can't handle the grotto.
Some people can't handle the grotto.
Part
Remember,
2.
what happens in the grotto stays in the grotto. Salud.
Everett, we're going to have to do part 2.
Part 2 of.
You got your box? You gonna open up
We don't have enough
that?
time to do it.
What time we got now? Oh, did I just.
What is he gonna do? Unbox his thing? You got time?
Yeah, we can
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
Okay,
Come on, break it out.
Let's do what we gotta do. Let's do Roger right now.
All right, we on? Can't see.
Ready to go.
All right, so.
Whoa, whoa,
All right, nice, camera. Put the cup down. No, she's not drinking. She's just acting like a teenager.
whoa. No, it's good. Good.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you guys to do is give us, things you want to see. If you have any opinions, suggestions, give us your suggestions. My brother was watching last time. He said, "I don't know anything about hip hop. I'd love to see what the real album looks like." So I printed out this week's hip hop spotlight, which is "Life Is Good" from Nas. This is what the actual album cover looks like. You got that, Ev?
Yeah.
Okay, and here's the variant from Marvel. It's Renew Your Vows, Spider-Man. I don't know if you guys know anything about this. There's not a lot to say
I've
other
heard
than
about it,
Spider-Man and Mary Jane are married. They have a child. Okay, which brings us to our first giveaway.
All right, second giveaway.
Second
Your
giveaway.
first giveaway.
Wait,
I've
hold
got-
on.
You're supposed to zoom in.
It is blurry.
Okay.
All right, there's your variant, and this is your giveaway. The Amazing Spider-Man 307, the Chameleon. McFarlane.
Chameleon,
art.
another villain that we didn't meet.
So here's the question. So Peter Parker, MJ married. They have a daughter. They're all fighting crime with Spidey powers. What's their daughter's name? First person to answer.
Great question.
In Renew Your Vows book, what is Peter Parker and Mary Jane Parker's daughter's name?
We have the executive producer, Burner 1869.
No, he can't answer.
knows
J.
the answer,
Jonah
but-
Jameson of this show in the back. Was wanting to answer.
Somebody answer?
No.
It's
May.
not May, no.
No. We got 2 Mays.
That's
Good answer.
That'd be a good guess.
That
That's a great guess.
You'd think out of homage they would do that, Even after his homage. Not May.
You know it's not Gwen.
All right.
Someone gets it.
Okay, so we got that.
Spider
Someone
Gwen.
gets it.
Spider-Gwen. Johnny
No,
Boy,
not
no.
Spider-Gwen.
We just got Stan Lee ruled Annie.
Annie.
Annie is it. Who was it?
Annie, the
Comic book king.
Comic Book King,
Book King,
new
you
winner.
got it. Andy, all right.
Yeah.
Here I am at Roger Levesque. Follow me, DM me, and give me your address, and I'll send this to you.
All right, congratulations.
All right, so
Great
now
win.
we're going to talk a little bit about Nas. Nas is one of my favorite rap artists. He's up there with the last couple weeks that I've done. His first album came out in '94, which is widely known as probably one of the best rap albums of all time. Nas made his debut. He released a single. It was in the movie Zebrahead. If anybody remembers the movie Zebrahead, one of his most famous songs, which is Halftime, was in that movie. But he still didn't have a record deal. Had trouble getting a record deal. Everything for Nas went slow. Finally, gets someone to notice him, gets a record deal, and of all things, he gets to go work with DJ Premier, Q-Tip, all the major producers in hip hop. He walks in, and they just can't wait to work with him. Nas grew up in Queens, at the Queensboro Bridge Projects, and he's one of those artists who really brought rap back into New York and made them. They brought him back to the map of hip hop and being known as the leaders in hip hop, along with artists like Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep, which I did last week with Prodigy. The thing about Nas, in my opinion, he's the best lyricist in rap of all time. Okay, when Nas writes music, he's like a poet, and what he does is he takes that, he listens to the music and he writes his lyrics to that music, so that it's really like multiple levels of rhythm and beats, and his poetry just intervenes with it. And there's not too many people, and if you actually took some of his earlier albums and looked at the words down, just kind of, hit one of those things where you see all the words, you really, you can't point, you got to tell me what somebody's saying.
Biggie, they're saying
Right,
Biggie.
Biggie's one of them, right.
Eminem.
Right. Well, Eminem didn't help launch hip hop. He just brought his own style to it.
Right.
He brought the white to the fight.
He's 10.
That's right.
He's 10 years or so past when Biggie came around. Guru, Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, and Nas. And even Nas came a couple years after Mobb Deep and some of those
I
guys.
think Birdie 1869, the executive producer, wants to say something. You want to chime in?
You have something to say?
No, nothing at all.
Eric B.
I will say something. KRS-One.
Eric B.
Jay-Z ripped Nas.
Listen, I'm gonna stand here and tell you that I'm not a Jay-Z fan. You can say that if you want, but if you listen to Jay-Z, Jay-Z is the stepping stone to what is rap now. You can say 4 words, pop it into a machine, repeat the same words over and over again.
I'm just talking about their diss songs.
The diss songs. That's good fun because everybody in that time had one on every album.
Everybody had a diss song for
But
somebody else.
I mean, when you listen to Nas, and one of the things with Nas with the this multi-syllabic rhymes and the beats and all that crazy stuff that's going on, you see him live. I've seen some of those live shots of him. He never loses that beat. He just has a way of taking that poetry and being able to spit it out with the rhymes.
Boogie
The
Down
other
Production.
Boogie Down Production. One of the other biggest things about Nas, which is a lot like guys like Method Man and Biggie would have been had he still been around, he transcends generations. Like, he didn't have a couple albums and then disappear because he ran out of material. He continued to write about his life. Continued to write about his life. He's as relevant now as he was in 1994.
Right.
And he's got an entire new group of people listening to him for the same reasons.
You're right.
Like this album here, he wrote just after he had his divorce with Keyless. She was, I think she's a hip hop or R&B.
The milkshake girl?
Yeah. No. So, when he got divorced, he decided, I'm single again. He kind of went back to some of his roots, but when he started writing, when he first got signed, all his lyrics were based on what he was going through, which at that time in the early 90s was the epidemic of crack cocaine and all the violence that went along with it. I mean, they got a show coming out right now on TV that's about the crack and all that, how that all started in the late 80s, early 90s. And especially at Queensboro Projects, it was just fluent there. And for guys like that who didn't get mixed up in it, they were lucky to have rap and the music to get them the hell out of there. And the stuff that he wrote was real. And I actually found a quote from Nas that I want to read that sums up how he wrote his music.
Okay.
I wanted you to smell it and feel it. It was important to me that I told the story that way because I thought that it wouldn't be told if I didn't tell it. I thought this was a great point in time in the 90s in New York City that needed to be documented and my life needed to be told. Nobody knew what was going on there. And then you started to have these rappers come out, Mobb Deep coming out and Nas coming out, Wu-Tang, who were starting to, it was less about I'm a gangster, I'm going to shoot you, and more about this is how I grew up. And their lyrics were all about how they grew up, what they went through, how they had to avoid being shot just to walk home from school, or how they had to try and make a living without selling crack. So, yes. So, I'm going to do another giveaway.
Get on it, another one?
Yeah,
Another
giveaway.
one? Fire, man.
So this is Great Lakes Avengers hip hop variant. Alright, see that, Ev? You see it?
Yeah.
See it? Okay, I'm not giving away this one. Here we go.
This is a great song. Here, turn this up a little bit. One Love. So, before you go on, I just want to talk about, when you talk about transcending time, back in 1993, 1994, when Chris Peters owned South City, and it was deep on Wednesday nights and Friday nights.
Didi Garmo.
Oh, Didi Garmo was online. All right, I want to give a big shout out to Didi Garmo. I want to get back to Didi Garmo. We want Craven as our next villain, right? All hail Craven. I thought you'd appreciate that. But listen, so I just want to talk about Nas when we talk about transcending time. So
let me ask the question and then you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so the trivia question for this is who can tell me what the name of Nas's debut album was?
I'm done.
Nas's debut album.
Ooh, all right. For a free giveaway, what was Nas's debut album?
Great Lakes
If I
Avengers.
ruled the world,
No, that's a song.
that's what he
All right,
said.
close, Johnny boy.
Song and it's not Illmatic. We got that.
Deadpool,
Deadpool
guy's on fire.
He's our Nas expert.
I was gonna guess that.
Deadpool needs to just drive down here.
He's our Nas expert because he won that last one about
Yeah.
Nas being from
Yeah, but he said he just
Queensbridge Project.
Didi Garmo said, what's a Nas?
What's a Nas? You know his real name? Nasir bin Alu Dara Jones.
Woo!
His father was actually a famous jazz trumpeter. I don't remember his father's name. Not so famous to me because I don't know a lot about
Right,
trumpeteers.
no, he's definitely raised in the music.
But he was raised in the music business, but obviously not very successful because he grew up in Queensbridge
Right.
projects in Queens, New
All
York.
right. Well, just getting back to you when we talk about Nas, transcending time and stuff like this. So here we are, 2017. Back in the day, my good friend Chris Peters is online right now. We thought it would be a great idea to buy a bar, so we talked him into buying a bar, and he did, believe it or not. And we had hip-hop nights on Wednesdays and Fridays. We had another name for it, but we're going to call it
What bar
hip-hop.
was this?
South City Cafe.
Oh, my God.
All right. So,
Never heard of it.
but, of course, because you were in New Britain. You were in New Britain and Plainville. But anyway, so during that time, Nas, I remember Nas being there. The DJ played tons and tons of Nas. So the fact that back in 1993, 1994, 1995, 96, 97, bad idea. We're talking 20 years ago. We're talking about Nas. The fact that he's still relevant right now is something good. And you definitely agreed that he definitely transcends time. Didi Garmo, it is 110 degrees down here in Negrado, buddy.
Not for me, buddy.
That's it. So, sorry.
That's all I got. My spotlight. Roger,
Right.
follow me.
Instagram right here.
Instagram, Roger Levesque.
Roger Levesque. We got Everado, Bernie.
And Deadpool, I already have your address, but who was the other gentleman that won?
Deadpool, pretty
No,
sure.
Deadpool won
No.
this one. It was. You know who
The
it
comic
is.
book king.
Comic book king.
Comic book king.
Follow me, DM me, give me your address. I'll send this to you.
Blues folks in Roots something said rap today is like rock in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So I want to bring online right now. I want to have him come up here right now. The only person I know, the executive producer, Bernie 1869, who's driven around the entire state of Connecticut and gone through all 25.
I've been to 25.
How many in Connecticut?
There are 29 according to you.
29 comic stores in Connecticut.
That's pretty
He is-
amazing.
It's pretty amazing, right?
Well,
And
when
he's
you get out of
giving
work
them
at 10.
Yeah, the Fed Life, and he's giving them all a CGC rating, no less. All right. If you want that, you can DM him. If
What's
you're
got your
around.
highest rated? That's what I want to know.
All right.
In
No.
Connecticut.
Right.
Sarge in Connecticut?
Yeah.
Sarge's in New London.
Sarge is a great store.
Sarge's in
All right.
New London. If
Just wanna
anybody's
give a-
ever on the Connecticut shore, New London,
Yeah.
Sarge's Comics and Cards.
One of the biggest.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's got to be the biggest.
Yeah, Sarge is very
square
big.
footage.
I just want to give a huge shout out to X-Men 516. He just joined on. He's probably on his break right now. Big shout out to Mike. If you want to follow, if you're a Subaru guy, if you're a
Subaru.
car guy, this guy is tricking out his car like you wouldn't believe. Also, if you dig deep into his webpage, you see tons of toy photography. He's got a lot of great books. Good friend of mine. Glad you joined on, Mike. I
Did you show
love
off your new toy?
What's that?
Did you show off your new toy?
No, I didn't show off Galvatron yet. I posted it today.
I know you
But I do
posted
gotta. Can I give a shout out right now?
Yeah.
Wait,
I want to give a huge shout out right
Boy, Johnny, we're gonna bring a chalkboard for you next week.
I need a
So
now. No, hold on.
Listen to that
hold
instead
on.
of the
Mike just brought
spotlight.
up Zap. Does anyone beat Zap?
Zap got it. All right, I'll tell you right now. When I was doing the CGC ratings, just playing around, I started off like a 4, went up. Sarge's got a 9.6, but I was only doing Connecticut countdown. But then I added in the bonus, and I have been to Zap once, and Zap got a 9.8. So I love Zap.
Right.
Where is that?
New Jersey.
Zap is in New Jersey.
I
Right.
take it, and I'm going to Delaware in the beginning of August, and I am making another stop at Zap.
Right.
Unlike this guy when he goes to New Jersey.
Well, my boys didn't want to meet me. Everybody was busy. Plus, the Borgata took a lot of my money.
More books for you.
I wasn't able to,
They don't want to meet you.
So I'm glad you brought up Zap, Mike. That's awesome. So
I love Zap.
All right. So what say you of the wild? What
What
have
say
you
me?
found?
These are actually,
What news you have of the North?
It's been
Winter is here.
Winter is here. If
Winter.
anybody watched Game of Thrones,
Winter is here.
the North remembers.
The North does remember. All right. So what do you have?
It's been
here?
what, 3 weeks since?
And
And I was in a rush to get here. They started without me.
No, 8
Fucking
o'clock is
bastards
when we
with no
start.
patience.
I told him to wait.
You
They
can't
never,
show
they
up
never
early for
heard.
work.
They never heard of Axl Rose. The show goes on. Whatever.
Yeah, but we can play without Duff.
But these were actually Facebook auction finds. But since Spider-Man want to show them up there, one iconic
Absolutely.
cover.
Got some nice books here.
Move over to the right a little bit. Other
The
way.
other right.
A little more. Right there. Perfect.
8:47.
What do you think of that?
Whoa!
Nice looking
That's
book.
a good.
That's
And then we've also
All
got.
right, now we got
Yeah.
Hey,
that
look
one.
at that.
That's
I don't- I don't think
Who
we're
wants to
gonna
be tied up to Janet?
I'll go.
So those were Facebook auctions. Now
Good
these,
prices. Good prices.
ISM 52.
That's some nice books.
Seriously,
Here.
books.
75,
Nice
75.
That makes it
It
look
was
nicer.
100 bucks on it. It was
That makes it
100
look
bucks.
nicer.
I mean,
That's a
they
nice
weren't
Mylar.
steals, but
Nice
It's
Mylar.
like
makes
an
it look
LED
good,
light
too.
on a diamond ring. It looks beautiful.
It's all right.
now this isn't a recent pickup, but this book has gained a lot of traction.
All right, what are we talking? Oh, here we go.
Now
Here we go with this book.
Now I went to
Here.
Long Island for my son's baseball
There you go. You
tournament
can post
last.
it right up here.
My son's baseball tournament last. It was on Free Comic Book Day, and I had to be in Long Island, so I
Move
went
it
over and
over.
I found like 4 or 5 shots in Long Island.
That black thing too.
And I got these for $2.50 each. I got the whole
$2?
series.
Look at this book.
Ride of Venom. How about that?
Now this
book
one is
but this book was like online for like $50 right now.
I know, and I
Really?
got the whole series for $2.50 each. But so I like
Who would have
that.
thought it?
Now what is that book? Who is that?
It's
What?
the first appearance, and she's gonna be in the movie, but she'll probably be like a
Like a
cameo.
cameo, like a 30-second cameo.
Right of them.
But
It's gotta marry somebody.
in a couple minutes, I will be giving away number 1. I have 2 copies of number 1.
Ooh, we're doing a
It's
giveaway.
number 1. It's not it's not 2 or 3, but whatever.
All right, nice looking book. Thank you. What else you have?
Past week I picked
Ooh,
up
alright.
nice Neil
That's
Adams
pretty
cover.
sweet.
All right.
Deadpool
Neil Adams.
said that
Batman
BS
230.
Venom book, shaking my head, sell it now.
You probably win it, Deadpool. I guess.
Batman 230. Now this one, and like he said, I've been to a lot of stores and I've never been denied.
This is a great story. This is a great story.
My youngest son went up to Maine. My mother's already up there for a while, so I drove him up and back and forth 2 times. And
Back and forth to New Hampshire.
to Maine.
Oh, Maine.
And I
Right,
stopped
right,
off
right,
in New
right.
Hampshire. Newington, New Hampshire. We live in Newington, Connecticut, so I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I go there, and Batman and Elmer Fudd is
This is a
picking
hot
up
book.
heat.
Hot book.
This
right?
guy has 4 copies of the regular cover and 2 copies of the secondary cover. I bring all 6 up, trying to buy them all. You go, strict policy. I try to bring up Big Ev, saying, I'm from Connecticut, I'm buying a set for my friend.
Right.
Guy wouldn't budge. I go, can I at least buy 1 of each cover? And he budged on that at least.
So what did you get?
He almost didn't let you buy one of each cover?
Yeah, he almost almost-
Elmer Fudd, folks.
And then,
Unbelievable.
so then I text these guys.
They're hunting pats.
Then I text these guys.
Yeah, those are my
You know-
guys, right?
The guy only let me buy 1. This guy. Was 1 for me?
Of course it is, right? Hold on, I want to give a huge shout out to I got a new viewer online, my buddy Chuck Galt, longtime rugby player, good friend of mine from Guilford College back in the day. Spent 3 years with him down in Greensboro, North Carolina. Some of the best days of my life down there. We'll bring up Tampa someday when we sit there together. And Chuck, I just want you to know, my son Little Ev is playing rugby, okay, buddy? So I did that for a summer league. So Just give you a huge shout out right there, all right? Johnny Boy just farted. All right, partner, we got that. So, we're going to keep going. Here we go.
And then another book that's seen up, and
God.
This I bought a long time ago, but he texted me, what's the significance of this book, and I tell him, and I'm like, oh, you can find it for cover or less probably.
Yeah, not something.
No, I've looked at 2 shops. The third shop I was at, I got so excited about another pickup I forgot to look, but it's just the first appearance of the Black Order.
Black Order, first appearance.
Move up a little bit more.
But
Towards the camera
I thought
more.
I could find it, but I can't find it right now.
Good.
Right.
So I don't think we're going to have time to do that.
3D.
Definitely right.
So, we've got about 5 minutes left in the show, and just some
Do the
things that...
giveaway.
We're going to do a quick giveaway right now. So what are we going to give away right now, executive producer? What do you got?
Venom Sinner Takes All, number 1.
Woo, all right. So what are we doing for that?
Guess the number 1 through 50.
Guess a number 1 through 50. Closest to it, or you got to nail it.
Closest to it.
All right,
Guess
closest
the number
to it.
1 to 50.
If there's a tie, one guess only.
You have 1 minute to type in a number.
1 minute, folks.
And one guess only. If there's a tie, you
You know
go
the number?
You can guess multiple numbers. We'll go
all right,
sudden
Siri's
death.
going to ask the
That
number.
entire
I'm gonna ask
new
Google.
Avengers series is epic.
Who said that?
We got 20, 36,
X-Men.
I said 1
Fifth.
through 50.
516.
24,
You met him. He came up here for Everett's birthday
60,
with his
43.
wife and little baby.
When it slows down, cut it off.
Okay.
No idea.
What was the question? Just throw out a number, comic book
Guess the
kid.
number 1 through 50.
1 to
through
50.
50.
Type in the number
Totally
1 to
random.
50. You can have doubles. We'll do sudden death.
One guess only.
We got about
If you
30
guess 2,
seconds.
you're excluded. Where'd that come from?
Milwaukee.
I didn't see it. Hey, it's his family show.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Just went PG-13.
Poor Johnny's
Right.
got. Poor Johnny guessed Mr. Yuck.
7.
All set?
Yeah.
Guess and stop. Google, give me a number 1 through 50. Okay, Google. Give me a number 1 through 50.
You sound like Spider-Man.
Alright.
Ooh, DD
It's not
Garmo.
working 'cause- Give me a number 1 through 50.
Daddy needs a new comic.
Not because it's not working good. Give me a number 1 through 50.
Should we use Siri?
4.
4.
Show it to
4. Let's see.
closest. I thought
4
I
at the
said
very bottom right. See it?
Yeah, go lower. Go lower. Perfect. 4.
Closest without going over?
No. That's not Price is Right.
Comic book king 3.
Right. What if someone has 5 and
Comic
someone
book
has
king
3?
Yeah.
3. And then it goes to sudden death.
Okay.
D. Garmo was robbed, he said. Wow. All right.
What did T. Gamma have?
No, it was close. All right.
Comic book king. The
Yeah.
comic book king again.
Again, all right, on fire.
Oh, yeah, you did it
So,
last time. Man.
I just want to give one last shout out, you guys, as we wrap the show
Hold
up.
on. Ask them if they want to come back for the unbox.
All right, so here's what we're going to do, you guys.
All right,
We've never done this before, but we will relaunch the show in
All right.
in 60 seconds because my boy
For those of
Bernie.
you that follow me on Instagram,
Yeah.
you saw I picked up this. I was gonna flip it.
Right, the Image box set.
Show the price I paid.
25 years of Image Comics.
There's no price on there.
Right there.
Oh, yeah. You can't see it.
They can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, you paid cost for it, right?
125.
125 cost. Retail is
Deadpool could said, sell it, don't open it.
two
Sell it,
250.
don't open it.
All right, so.
But if I get one,
Well, we're gonna decide
I really
what we're
want
gonna
to
do.
hear his nigga.
But hold on a second. I had a great surprise to you guys. I want to bring this up. So this is a book that I've been after for a long time, and I definitely believe that comic karma is real in the IG comic family. So today I got a great book from Kevin Henderson. So Kevin, I want to give you a huge shout out, and thank you very much for this first appearance of Godzilla. This is a triple hashtag book today. First appearance Friday, feature creature Friday, and first issue Friday. And we both believe that book, this book can definitely hit a 9.8. It's got beautiful covers. I did nothing but tell him I was interested in the book. I was going to buy this book slabbed already, but he must have had an extra copy. And again, please follow Kevin Henderson right now. He's a great guy.
DeGarmo wants to know who that is.
Where?
The chick.
T. Garma, you don't know who she is? That's Deanna Troy. from Star Trek: The Next Generation. I actually got that from her when I played blackjack with her in Las Vegas. I actually played blackjack with her in Las Vegas.
How about that?
Whoa!
At a Star Trek convention. She's actually a very good blackjack player. So, are we going to open this up next? Does anybody want to see what's in the book? In the box? Does anybody want to see what's in the box?
There's a chance that there's a valuable variant.
Yes, there's
Oh, and there's original art.
Can I just see the
original
box?
art.
Check it out.
There's
Can we get
original
some
art.
thumbs up? Marina Sirtis, that's absolutely right.
Oh, you really can't see what's in
Do we
there.
want Bernie 1869 to open this up?
First issue.
There's
Wonka
25
said,
no, it's
hell
all
yeah.
variants of-
Okay, Mr.
Yeah,
Walker,
this is-
Randy says yes. Big shout out to Randy. I want to give Randy a big shout out. More importantly,
Comic Book King says open it.
big shout out to his wife.
I need a pair of scissors.
He just picked up
KP
Daredevil
Henderson, Fet
number
083,
1.
Didi
so-
Gomo.
All right.
We'll come
Right, so we're going to end the show right here, right now.
Because it's going to cut off in an hour.
Yeah, we're going to end the show right here,
Mr.
right
Guy's
now.
gonna
We're
cut
going to
us
come
off.
back in 5 minutes once we get something to open up the box. So thank you very much for joining Otto's Grotto. All
Dead
Things
Pulika
Geek
said
and
you're
Me.
gonna regret opening them.
That's funny. We got Cool Sue in our audience. We got our Spider-Man aficionado, Mr. Drew Blood, Evelyn on the camera right now. So we're going to come back. We're going to end the show. Thank you very much, you guys, for joining in. We're going to see you back in 5 minutes. Evelyn, don't touch anything. All right. So, wow, that was good, just honest. That was great. What a great show.
That was-
I need this beer
Do
back.
we have any
Chocolate
IPAs?
beer?
Well, why not, right? Why not?
Where's
Why
my
not?
IPAs?
Why not? Oh!
I moved that box.
You should have got that.
Hey, we're still live, dude.
Oh,
No, we're
wow.
not. Are we really?
Evelyn,
Zoom in, zoom in.
cut the
I